Here it is, July 24th. It's cloudy here. We had a little shower last night, but I don't think it amounted to too much. We're expecting more today. The chances are better anyway. How are our dear DeFlorios 4? We pray that you are healthy and busy and keeping out of mischief, and Dad's making lots of money, and hope Mom and the boys aren't spending it faster than Dad can make it. We're real anxious about your furniture. Wish we could come and see it, but we can't make it this year. It sounds exciting, and I wish you could send some pictures so we could see what it's like. Ann and Sandra both said it's quite striking, and they like it very much. Now we're wondering if you got the rest of the dining room furniture yet, and how it'll look when that gets in place. I record as crazy as I write. Anything that comes into my mind is what I say at the time. And it'll be all jumbled up, but at least you'll hear from us. I thought all day Saturday and Sunday that I'd record, but I just didn't get to it. Took me just about all day, well, not counting my nap, of course, to clean up the house except the carpeting. And then yesterday I started altering the dresses that I had the dressmaker make. Well, I never realized what a botched-up job she did until I started taking some of the things apart, letting a little out here, and, well, that bulged there, and so on and so forth. Dad says, why don't you save your money and do it yourself? He says, in fact, when I bought you the sewing machine, I thought you might take in sewing and make some money. Ha ha. I really enjoy sewing, but I get so nervous that it really doesn't pay me. It's 10:30 now on a Monday morning, and we had breakfast, of course, and I did the dishes, and Dad got ants in his pants and wanted to go out toward Apache Junction and look for a shoe repair shop. Well, he didn't wait for me to get everything done, so I finished up when I got back. And we stopped to the store, the drugstore. So finally, I got to record. I want to send Ann a message, too, and that'll finish up all four of you. We received a tape from Sandra Saturday, and we're thrilled to pieces with it. And she doesn't know, I guess, that you can turn the speaker off anytime and just start up again, rather than turn the whole machine off. This tape recorder and player that Jim and Lori gave us is really something. I've had a ball making tapes so far, and it seems like each one gets easier to make. Sandra said her souvenir tape from us has gone the rounds to the whole family, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. And I hear that Annie borrowed your player to so that she could play it. But she says, oh, that's all right. We borrowed their tape recorder, and they borrowed our truck, so I guess we're even. It's kind of nice to have a sister or brother that you can kind of swap things off with, isn't it? We received a letter from Shirley last week, and she said that she has a new puppy named Brandy, and when she went to the kennel to look for a puppy, she didn't have a chance to look. This one just adopted her. She says that Sharon has a swimming pool, and she took her grandchildren over to play in it. David kept saying, Grandma, look at me. Grandma, look at me. I can just hear him, the little tyke. I guess Sandra, Gary, and the kids have been having a ball with a camper. Well, it's a good thing. Might as well enjoy themselves when they're young. They're fortunate to have good health, and Gary a job that pays well enough so they can enjoy things now. She said on the tape that they are planning on coming here the end of March. Well, that should be a good time because it'll should have warmed up. I was going to say it will warm up. Well, you never know. Weather is very unpredictable no matter where it is. Of course, Grandpa and I are already planning on their visit. We're wondering when you'll make it this year. You know, any time, sooner, later. Of course, the sooner the better, and the oftener the better. We're real excited about the convention being in California, and Kay and Ann stopping on the way to the convention, and you, Al and Mick, stopping on the way back. Of course, all the neighbors have been informed of our plans. Can't keep anything to myself, you know. First time I see them, I tell them, oh, we heard from the kids and this and that and the other, whatever you write. And if I don't say anything for a while, well, they ask, well, what do you hear from the kids? I think sometimes they've kind of adopted you. Even Roy and Allison, well, they're not too outgoing, you know, but they ask about you, too. And if I hear from one, well, what about the rest of them? Did they say how the other families are? Saturday morning, I was going to be real smart, and I said to Dad, well, I hope nobody comes this morning so I can get my work done real early. So 9 o'clock I started. Who should pop in at 9:30 but Fred? Of course, we always enjoy him so much. And he stayed for about 3/4 of an hour, and I really got busy afterwards. And believe it or not, I can work now for, well, I did the patio with the sweeper, the duster brush on the floor, and the, well, I mean the floor brush, don't I? Yeah, the floor brush on the floor, and the little round duster brush, and the windowsills, and so on, and the floor in the kitchen without stopping, which is really good for me. The first of last week, I cooked up a storm. I think we had leftovers on Monday. Tuesday morning, we went to the store, and I spent the rest of the morning cooking. And, oh, let's see, what did I fix? Oh, salmon loaf, and, oh, I can't remember what went with it. Then Wednesday, Fred said that he was going to put some chicken on the spit. And would we like chicken? And I asked Dad, and he said, oh, yeah, that sounded good. So I said to Fred, well, I'm going to have the oven going, so I'll bake the potatoes. So I baked potatoes and corn for dinner. But I really wanted to roast some stuffed peppers and make a meatloaf. So I did all that. Boy, was my back aching like toothache before I got through. Grandpa just went out in the backyard to look things over, I guess. It's pretty crummy looking, but I don't say anything. I mentioned to Fred Saturday that I'd like to hire somebody to come in and pull up all the dried up stuff, the tomato plants and the flowers that have dried up, and the rose bushes have just, oh, they don't amount to a row of pins anymore. And clean up a lot of that bark and just have the things that really matter out there. And it'd be so much easier for him to take care of. But I don't know. He didn't fall for it, I guess. Maybe he will eventually. This past week, he's been feeling better, though, because he's watered 3 times. He was lucky to water it once before. But he has a little spring in his step again, which is encouraging. Sometimes his appetite is good, and sometimes food just doesn't taste good to him at all. He thinks of a lot of things he wants, and then after he gets them, why, he doesn't care for them. To get back to cooking, Thursday I fixed pork roast and dressing and gravy, baked potato, and he really enjoyed that. Then Friday, I think I started using some of the leftovers, and boy, did we have them. We had salmon loaf left over, and of course pork roast, and stuffed peppers, and meatloaf, and in fact, we haven't even eaten any of the meatloaf yet. I froze some of it, enough for 2 meals, but we've used the peppers up on well, not all of them yet, on sandwiches. Oh, there's nothing like a roast pepper sandwich. Today it'll be mostly leftovers. The potato will be fresh, either boiled or baked. Pork roast and dressing and leftover beets. I think that'll do it for today. On Sunday, can you imagine leftovers? Well, we had chicken left over and some dressing with it and gravy and corn on the cob. Oh, and that was delicious. One of these days I'll have to dig the chili out of the freezer. I made some about a month ago. And we do want to make some chop suey. We haven't had that since Lori and Jim were here. Netta isn't doing well now. She goes to the bathroom, but she had to give up going out to the table and have her meals. And it's so awkward eating in bed. Dale and daughter Sheila Hess stopped by Saturday. They had been out to the mobile home at Desert Sands. That's southeast of here. That and the mobile home that they have in Mesa are both vacant, of course, for the summer. Dale finally got a job working for a big mine south of here, 80 miles. He has a travel trailer that he parks 40 miles from here, and then he rides the bus to the mine from there. Of course, he doesn't work in the mine proper. He works in the air-conditioned office in the engineering department. But he took a tour of the mine last week, and he said that the heat down there is terrific. Geneva still works for the state, and then she's working real estate on the weekends. I either had her figured all wrong or she's changed. I thought that she used to be sort of a homebody, interested in her family and so on. But now it seems like anything to get away from home and the responsibilities of a home and family. So, I don't know. I guess maybe I was wrong. Poor Dale, I feel sorry for him. He's just a bundle of nerves. I think maybe this is one reason why he hasn't been able to hold a steady job since he got laid off at Air Research. You just wouldn't believe how quiet it is around here now with so many people gone. The Snowbirds home, of course, and so many people around here on vacations. I don't think there were 25 cars in the whole lot down at the Valderow Shopping Center this morning. The Hamiltons say that they aren't going anyplace this summer. Maybe in October they'll take a short trip, maybe for a night or two away from home. I get a big bang out of Alice. Before, she kept saying, well, you shouldn't go back north in the summertime, Esther. You'll just come back sick, and I think you should stay here. You're making a big mistake going home. So this year, when I told her we weren't going home, she says, oh, I think you ought to go home. When I told Dad, he really got a bang out of that. He says, does she know what she thinks you ought to be doing? Dad says you better get dinner started, so I went out and got things going there, got the potato in the oven for baking and so on. You know, I mentioned before that he's perfectly happy for me to take care of him. He doesn't seem to want to lift a finger to do much for himself or help me out at all. It wouldn't have hurt him to put the potato in the oven, but no. The other day he did put the seasoning in the dressing and mixed it up, which was quite a bit. I don't expect him to set the world on fire or anything, but I think sometimes just a little bit of doing something would help stop a lot of this boredom. But if I'm not working, he would rather I just sat and read the paper or be near where he is. And I don't know. Kind of stifles me sometimes. He has been reading the book that you sent him, though, and has enjoyed it a lot. He read for 2 hours straight one day, and that's exceptional for him to sit and read for that long at a time. But I'm glad he enjoys it. When he finishes it, we're going to let Netta read it, and then I'll take my time reading it. I have a couple of other books around here by the same author that he could read, but so far he hasn't been interested. I was glad he was so anxious to get started this morning to the shoe repair shop. At least it made me think that he was thinking about something. You know, when I was feeling so badly, I wanted to go, get away from the house and see different things and not do anything because I wasn't able. But he's content to just sit in his chair and on the patio mostly. And he takes his nap in the living room. And then in the evening for a couple of hours we watch TV. But that would drive me buggy. I don't mention taking a ride anymore. I did several times. Said, is there any place you'd like to go, get away from the house for a little while? And he said no, so I've just made up my mind that we'll stay home, and I have other interests. They're all right here, of course, but now that I'm able to do my work and feel like cooking and mess around a little bit with sewing, why,